What's going on, good people? I am Trayvon Miles alongside Jeff Harris and Jonah Restuccio.
And welcome into the Delmarva Sports Insider.
It's the only show giving you in-depth analysis to all local sports here on the Short.
That's exactly right. We got a lot to get through. So coming up on tonight's show, football, and you guessed it, more football. Football is back and looking pretty good. We've traveled up and down the Eastern Shore to get a look at every Bayside team, and we will talk about them tonight.
Now also still to come, this week's edition of After the Whistle featuring an Eastern Shore product who has taken her game to the collegiate level.
And the 2018 White Marlin Open is officially complete. We bring you up to date on everything over the last 5 days later on in the show.
That's exactly right. Welcome to the show you know and love. Of course, it's the Delmarva Sports Insider. Where else would you be on a Saturday night at 7 p.m., right? Of course, you know if you watch us, football is back here on the Eastern Shore. It's got to be an exciting time for everybody here. We began rolling out our previews on the very first day. That's how excited we were and how we couldn't wait and how we anticipated this time happening. We'll begin tonight with the defending Salisbury City champions, the James M. Bennett Clippers. They come into this year after one of the most successful seasons in a quarter decade. But you can rest assured the Clippers are not satisfied with last year and will look for more this upcoming season. Take a look.
Bennett!
The whistles have returned to College Avenue.
It took forever to get here with these long summers.
The 2017 Salisbury City champion James M. Bennett Clippers come off a season which they impressed some, surprised many, but didn't shock themselves. They'll go into this season with the same goal in mind, thanks to
It's seniors. If you have the senior leadership, they take you as far as you can go. And I've 18 years of doing this. It doesn't matter how much talent you have. If you don't have the leadership from within, you're going to struggle. And I've been real fortunate last year, and this year I got some great senior leadership.
The Clippers finished the regular season with a 7-3 record and earned their first home playoff game in 25 years. But this team is no longer satisfied with just getting into the postseason.
Unfinished business. And okay, great, we made the playoffs. Now we need to get the win. All right, let's make the playoffs and treat each game as the first game of the playoffs. And every game is important. Doesn't matter who you're playing, you got to show up.
JMB is often the least talked about team in the city, but the Clippers say that's fine. They'll let their pads speak for themselves once again this year.
We'll see what happens on the field. Everybody can look good in the weight room, but once you put those pads on, we'll find out what we got.
Now, was that trash talk or what?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. That was kind of like a subliminal.
That's what you need.
Yeah, exactly. But Bennett returning some pretty good players, Saquon Cotton, Jaron Long. They should be pretty good this year.
Yeah, we saw Cotton in that basketball summer league, and let me tell you, he's looking big, and I'm excited to see what Bennett has to offer this year.
And also, of course, you saw one of those teams that, you saw that field goal against. That was Parkside.
Yeah.
So that's a rival, of course, here in Salisbury. And that's the team we're going to be featuring because we're going to stick with teams right here in Salisbury. Of course, the Parkside football program built some good things a season ago, but guys, they're looking to take things to the next level in 2018.
And with those sounds, football season is officially back. Coach Brendan Riley and his Parkside Rams got back into the fold earlier this morning, and the Rams are excited, to say the least, about the coming season.
Oh, it's awesome, man. We've been working all summer long, and the kids have been showing up, and we're just excited to get back to it, man.
Coach Riley, entering his 11th season at the helm, has seen his fair share of talent come and go, and he sees this year as no different in recovering after graduating some of the most explosive players in the South.
Luckily, it's system. I think that's what we really are about. You can't ever replace your guys, but with the guys that are behind, what's awesome is that they're hungry. So now it's their opportunity to step up, and really because of the idea of competition, I think it really puts us in a position to let them try and showcase and figure out who's going to rise to the top.
The 2018 Rams will even look to improve upon a 4-1 Bayside South record, a league that should be much improved this season.
In the last couple of years, you've been seeing the South start to really move up and trying to reestablish some of that, competitiveness. As expectations rise, we want to see our guys rise to the meeting of them.
And Trey, now I know you're in constant communication with Coach Riley over at Parkside. You guys are talking. What do you think of this team? What do you think about what you saw?
I really think they could be a pretty good team. I know they're really gunning for that Salisbury City championship. They want to get revenge on James and Bennett and Coach Hugh Gibson over there. But I really think that they have one of the top players in the state. I'll say Elijah Bivens, who's been featured on After the Whistle. I think if he holds things down in the middle. Depends on what kind of quarterback play they get from their offense. Their offense, some of the weapons in the backfield will be very young this year. Yeah. So it remains to see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Now, guys, we can't forget about the other team here in Salisbury. You got a little smile on your face.
Of course not.
Where are we going?
Trey knows what team this is. Yeah. It's not Salisbury, right?
You got a ring? You got a ring? You played for them back in the day?
I might have.
Y High Indians, of course. It's been 6 seasons.
Who it was. Okay.
6 seasons.
Since the Tribe's last winning season.
Trey was not on the team.
But this year,
Trey wasn't on the team.
Trey, is this the year they turn it around?
I hope so.
Well, let's see.
So I can start talking some trash again.
Drew Williams has more from camp this week.
The Tribe is back on the gridiron after a tough 2017 season, and head coach Brian Hansen is using last year as a learning experience.
We learned quite a lot about ourselves. We learned how hard it is to win and how easy it can be to lose. We've taken this offseason by storm.
Finishing with a 4-6 record and scoring in single digits in 4 of those games, Y-High is hoping to get their offense rolling, starting with limiting those self-inflicting wounds.
We've got to protect the football. Between our quarterbacks and our centers last year, and just in general, our quarterbacks, they account for 24 fumbles. So that's a lot of drives that we don't always lose the ball, but you're just dead plays because we're fumbling the snap or doing, fumbling exchanges. So we've got to protect the football, number one.
One player drawing a lot of attention is junior defensive lineman Dominic Bailey, who has been pegged a leader for Y-High and is raking in the college offers all across the nation. But for Bailey, he's just focused on the task ahead and winning it all in 2018.
I win everything, I win every game. Me, I just want to win. I just want the team to win. I don't care about my stats. I just want to win. Team gets a team game. You can't win without 10 other people on the field with you.
Reporting in Salisbury, Drew Williams, 47 ABC.
Now, obviously, as coach has said, taking care of the football and consistency, really the biggest points of emphasis this year for Y-High. A young team, not a lot of depth. It'll be interesting to see how their 2018 season pans out.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit that key word there, and that's depth. And you got to be able to, use your star players, appropriately. Of course, that's who you're game planning against. But at the same time, you need those reserves to come in, key role players off, the sidelines to come in and to produce. And I know, Trey, you're pretty close to this program, near and dear to your heart. What are you thinking?
It's pretty interesting that you guys do mention depth, because I think over these past 6 years, one thing that nobody's really pointing out is the fact that the numbers at Y-High and the kids that they've been getting out over the past 6 years have not been what they have been for the past 10 to 12, 15 years of what that program was. So I think if Coach Hansen can get some numbers out there and get some more guys participating, then we might see a change. I at least hope so this year, right? All right, our last Bayside South trip brings us to the crown jewel of Somerset County,
right? Saying that.
Princess Anne, Maryland, right? The Washington Jaguars have been known as a Bayside dormant for quite some time now, but the coaches and veteran players are attempting to change that narrative this season. The Washington Jaguars come into this year with a new mindset. The 2017 Jags finished 12th out of 13 teams in total defense, allowing over 42 points per game. So head coach Greg Lisinski comes into this year with a new approach.
We've been preaching all offseason defense. Since I've been the head coach here, we've been able to score points usually. The problem is we can't stop anybody defensively, whether it's tackling or mental breakdowns. We've been pretty poor defensively. So we've really been preaching that, and we're going to keep doing it all throughout camp, and hopefully it's going to pay off.
The previous years, we always changed up our defense, but this year, this is our second year going into the same defense, so I'm really liking it. I'm enjoying it.
On the offensive side of the ball, the Jags lost a host of talented players to graduation, but welcome back Keontae Nutter into the fold, who's poised to set an example for the younger players this season.
Now that I'm a senior, I have to play a big leadership role, so I know the guys look up to me, and I have a lot of experience. I've been on varsity since a freshman, so my experience really ties into it, because I know I can execute and get us wins.
Perhaps the biggest loss for the team is all-do-everything quarterback Eric Ballard. But Lisinski says they got a few newcomers that should be in the mix under center.
We got 2 guys that are pretty capable. Mike James is a sophomore this year, and Riley Horner, played soccer the last couple of years, is going to be a senior for us this year. So I think between the 2 of them, we're going to be pretty set at the position.
You know the old saying goes, if you have two quarterbacks, you have none, right? So I really hope Washington can kind of get that together and figure out who's going to be there behind center. But it is good, as you say, to have depth on a high school football team as well. So.
Absolutely, and I think we heard from one of the biggest players, if not the name on that team, and that is Keontae Nutter. We see what that kid can do on the basketball court. We saw last year what he can do on the football field. He's going to be a pivotal part of this team's success this year.
He's going to be a huge athlete, and as we saw at the end of that, Riley Horner making the switch from soccer, he has a pretty good arm.
Yes, so I do.
He'll definitely be a threat for Washington under center this year. Well, we have to take our first commercial break, but when we return, we check in with the other teams in the other half of the conference, the Bayside North. That and more when we return right here on Delmarva Sports Insider.
Hi, I'm Keontae Nutter from Washington High School, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.